Hello, all benders and non-benders, and welcome back to Avatar Realms Collide. And we are going to talk about what builds you should prioritize in the game. You will notice there are quite a few buildings. Quite a few. And it can be a little confusing to figure out what you should actually work on building. Well, I got good news for you. It's really not that confusing because what should you be building? You should be building whatever your gosh dang town hall tells you. Because here's the thing with the town hall. This thing not only dictates how much you can level up other buildings by, but it gives you a few other things. It gives you more troop slots, it gives you a higher bender capacity, so you can do a lot more in the overworld. Without the town hall, you're not going to be able to do much of anything. If you only have a level 3 town hall, you're only going to be able to have level 3 buildings. That's not ideal. That is just not ideal. That is not going to get you very far. So, with that in mind, the town hall is going to keep you pretty busy for a pretty long time. However, assuming that you are powering up one building at a time, either the town hall or the walls, what can you do after that? Well, if you only have one slot open, then unfortunately nothing. Because I think you do have to pay for the second slot if I am not mistaken, and that's a big if. I think you can sometimes unlock it on a temporary basis, I could be mistaken there. But unfortunately, that's just kind of the nature of the beast, is that you gotta pay for that second slot to be permanent. Which is a teensy-weensy bit unfortunate, if I'm being totally honest. But, looking past that, once you spend some time, you got your town hall powered up a little bit, and now you're starting to worry about building up your other places. Okay, now we can start talking a little bit. What I would worry about after your town hall is your research lab. The reason for that is, as you get your research lab powered up, it speeds up the research. Pretty self-explanatory there. Why do you want to speed up research? Is so that you can get all of these nice, tasty abilities and perks, and even extra bender tiers powered up. Because without these guys, you're going to have a bit of a cap on your power level. And you don't want that. But you'll notice that some of these later ones have some very long timers. I'm going to be staring at this clock for a hot minute. You're going to want to knock that down a little bit, and the best way to do that is to get your research lab powered up. Next, your tunnels. This is how you actually recruit benders. Benders being used for the campaign, as well as in the overworld to fight off the Shattered Skulls NPCs, or other players, because every now and then wars break out, and sometimes you need a little bit of muscle to get the job done. What this will do is, as you get these powered up more, you can recruit more benders at a time. Now, I don't know if it's like more benders for less time per bender, I forget the exact details, but the point is, you don't have to babysit this as much. You can just set it for the longest amount of time and have your benders getting recruited and trained up for about a day or so, and then come back, collect your troops, and go again. Once you do get up to like level 30, like my Tunnel of Water here, you can recruit up to 3,000 benders at a time, regardless of rarity, which is pretty nice. So you definitely do not want to sleep on that, because especially if wars break out, sometimes you need some muscle. A few other things that you can think about here. The Alliance Center is actually pretty helpful. The reason I say that is this max received help icon here is actually what you need to get your Alliance allies to help you with your builds. Because every now and then you get like a green little handshake icon. That is you requesting help. If you see a blue handshake icon over on the Alliance Center, that is another Alliance member requesting help. It doesn't cost you anything. All you literally have to do is click the button. If you don't click the button, then you're just mean. That's just rude. But that speeds it up a little bit. It knocks a little bit of time off. I forget the exact numbers. That's the unfortunate thing with these types of games, is that there's so many numbers and timers that it's a little hard to get concrete data. But the point is, that can help speed up all of your other builds and have a nice little trickle effect. Now, the Cooperation Center is one that I've been building, but I am honestly gonna say, unless you are like the leader of an alliance, maybe don't go too crazy on this one. For a couple reasons. One, the point of the Cooperation Center is to crank up your max rally squad. That is when you actually start a rally, either against some Shattered Skulls, or against one of the Spirit Invasions, or against other players' fortresses. And sometimes some of the overworld stuff like the Borte missions or the Dark Spirits, stuff like that, where basically you start a little 5-minute countdown where a bunch of other players can join you, and y'all do the fight as a group. The kicker is, for the vast majority of the fights, you don't need actually that many. Even if you're like only at around level 20 or so, 20 right there, 20 troops, that's more than enough. Even 15 is pretty okay. I forget how much this is needed for the town hall, but in the context of the Cooperation Center itself, you do not actually have to go as high as I am. I'm cranking it up because I like being able to build some massive armies to go into the invasions, because the faster we can kill those invasions, the better, and the more high-powered rallies we can do, the more players that we can chunk out in a faster period of time, which is why you kind of want to think about this. But I'm an R4 in our alliance, so I kind of have to think of the good of the team on that one. So I personally have been cranking it up. I think I've even got one of the highest. So yeah, just a little note there is that you probably don't actually have to worry about that one that much. The Scout House is another one that you can kind of pass on, if I'm being totally honest. The scouts are okay, but you get your third scout at level 16, and then once you've unlocked that, you're kind of good, if we're being totally honest. Your wall, I'm not going to give that one too much attention, actually, because quite frankly, I think every level of the town hall requires you to build up your wall anyway. The final one I'm going to talk about is the Altar of Heroes. Now, the thing with the Altar of Heroes, it's not like a traditional gacha game where your summons are super duper necessary. Here, they're more like little perks you can get every now and then, in the form of some speed ups and the occasional scrolls for characters and such. It's nothing crazy, but it's kind of a better than nothing situation. However, as you do get the Altar of Heroes powered up, you get some freebies. You can get way more daily silver scrolls. You can get up to 10 if you go all the way up to level 30. And for the free the free golden scroll, you can get that down to every 2 days. That one, I mean, it's not as crazy. The improvements on that one are not massive. But I will say, getting 10 free daily scrolls for at least the silver scrolls, it's still kind of nice. It's still one of those things that is not a lot one by one, but adds up over time. So you're going to want to pay attention to this. But again, it's kind of another one where once you're building up your town hall, everything else will kind of fall into place as is. Once you get those powered up, then you can kind of start to give some love to like your buildings, like your farms and your mines and your sawmills and stuff like that. But I wouldn't prioritize that. Just do whatever you need to do for your town hall, and then probably put the resource buildings kind of on the back burner until you've got things like your tunnels powered up. But that's just my advice. So yeah, that is basically it for the buildings. I'll be interested to see if they ever add any more buildings, but quite frankly, I fast-tracked this pretty good, I will not deny. But especially the town hall, with research buffs, this had a timer of like 89 days. Without research buffs, it's like 180, I think. That town hall takes forever. So honestly, don't be in a hurry, and don't worry about it. Some of this stuff takes so many resources anyway, you almost need the timers so that you can build up your resources again, so that you'll be ready for the next big timer after the current one ends. That's kind of the nature with these games, is it's a marathon, not a sprint. I took it as a sprint, and while it has given me many opportunities, it also costs a pretty penny. So, you know, am I really winning? Hard to say. Hard to say. But we will leave it at that. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and we shall see you next time. Have a good one.